From the Bob Mills Weather Center, the Oklahoma weather expert, Travis Meyer.
Around eastern Oklahoma, all was quiet after those early morning thunderstorms that caused quite a commotion for folks waking up. Tonight, our showers and thunderstorms continue across Kansas. Here's the Tulsa area. These are going to continue to track to the east and southeast. They're not very impressive tonight compared to what it was last night. We have another system coming in tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. That'll probably be a big pain for a lot of folks, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Meantime, quiet right now across the area, and it looks like it should stay that way for at least about 8 more hours. We did end up with about 1 to 2 inches of rain. The last 2 days, a lot of northeast Oklahoma has picked up rain. Southwest has not picked up as much. I talk about the wheat harvest, but it has not been able to go anywhere. Mud in the fields, which again, for 2/3 of the year, they haven't had a drop of rain. Then it just starts raining right at harvest time. And then also the situation in Russia and Ukraine, and they're not getting any wheat out of that area. So it's highly important that we start getting wheat out of Oklahoma on up into Kansas and areas out into eastern Colorado and Texas. But at this point, there's been a lot more rain in the western part of the state over the last 30 days. Check this out. It looks like everything has shifted out to the west because it was always here in the eastern side where we talk about all the rain, and we're just saying poor guys out west, farmers. Not so much so now. Poor farmers now because they can't harvest their wheat. Anyway, we're talking about additional rain still likely through Friday of 1 to 3 inches. So there's still a lot of water that's going to have to fall in some areas here of eastern Oklahoma, northern Oklahoma, Kansas, and the Texas and Oklahoma panhandle areas. As far as what's going on right now, we're in the upper 70s to around 80. It's pretty muggy tonight because there's no air movement. Out to the west, there's the high plains thunderstorms. Not much going on. Late tonight through the morning hours, they make a move toward our direction, but they start to weaken as they move in the western part of our viewing area. So if you live out in Osage and Pawnee counties, probably have some thunderstorms by 6 or 7 in the morning. What we're watching is what's going to go through Oklahoma City and then travel from McAllister and maybe through Hughes County through McAllister. These are going to be some pretty big storms with hail and wind. While the rest of us just see the rain ending, these storms are going to push off to the east, but they could be a problem morning. Alan and Stephen will have more on that. 80s as we go through tomorrow afternoon and muggy. Then here comes the storm system as we go through tomorrow, or I should say late tomorrow night and Wednesday morning. Exactly where this cluster of storms is going to be is still to be determined. Earlier today, we thought it was going to be over us. It's shifted a little bit here, but that's going to shift again over the next 24 hours, but it's going to be close. So there's a high probability of storms with wind and hail. Then as we go through the time period for Wednesday, the rain ends. And it'll just be muggy because there's not much air and temperatures will be in the 80s, which isn't bad compared to where we're headed. 80s on Thursday, and there's a chance that most of the day will be quiet, but thunderstorms will come back in late Thursday night and Friday morning. By Friday afternoon, we should be okay, but the storms will be moving out at that time. So Friday is one more day of thunderstorms. Then things start to calm down just in time for the weekend. So we're looking at high probabilities off and on, mainly in the mornings as we start to head on through basically tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, and then into Friday morning. And then temperatures, not too bad. And then they get a big bump as we go on into next week. And it gets hot because we're supposed to be in the upper 80s to near 90. And once we're 5 degrees above that, that is sauna weather. All right, so this coming weekend, Tulsa Tough is in town. St. Francis is the primary sponsor. We're talking about temperatures that are going to be in the 80s. Kind of tough on Friday. Not so bad on Saturday and Sunday. Just watch out for a sunburn. Also, Rooster Day Parade. That'll be at 4 o'clock this Friday. Rooster Days moved, of course, into June. And you see Chubbs and Casey and JD and Vaughn. They're going to be parts of our team that are going to be in the parade in the Friday afternoon time period. Rooster Days themselves look pretty good. Temperatures are expected to be generally in the 80s. Saturday is going to be one of those deceiving days. It's going to be pleasant, beautiful, nice, but you're going to get a bad sunburn if you're not paying attention. A Highway to Heaven in Henryetta coming up on Saturday at Nichols Park, just south of Henryetta. Temperatures be near 80. Once again, nice, but sunburn weather. And we're talking about in Tulsa right now. We're looking at 80 degrees, south-southeast wind. It is muggy. Dew point is sitting at 72. By the time we get on into the morning hours, we're at 71. By the time we get on into the daytime hours, we're at 77. So morning showers and a few thunderstorms. The afternoon, partly sunny at 84. And we've just made a few changes, but not much, because once we get to the weekend, it looks great. And once we get to next week, unless you love summer, not so great. Heat index values in the 90s to near 100 at that time. So if you like cooler weather, enjoy it now, even though it's storming.